Ciao, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to recreate the Google Maps Locate Me button. Stay tuned until the end of the video for a nice tip that will help you a lot. In my previous video, now on the screen, I told you that if you enable my location button enable in the Map UI settings, that won't work as you might expect. It would, as it does in the Google Maps from Google. So let's go ahead and recreate ourselves a button that looks and behave almost identical to the one of Google Maps. So here I have Google Maps open, and as you can see, the Locate Me button is grayed out. And if we tap on it, it will ask for location access. If we grant the location and tap it again, it will locate us, and also the button will change color. So let's go ahead and recreate one for ourselves. So first of all, we need an icon. This looks pretty similar to me, so I downloaded it, and I will leave the link to this specific icon down in the description of the video. With that out of the way though, let's go and launch our app, which for now it's just an empty screen, so nothing will be displayed. But let's go ahead and recreate the location London that I already created on the last video. Let's go ahead and create a camera position as well. So we need a camera position state using the remember camera position state. We can also assign the position immediately to our location that we want. We also will need the list of the permission that we request to the user. Don't forget to define both those permissions in your manifest file. With the permission declared, now we can start building our screen. Now, for convenience, I will go ahead and use a scaffold, which will allow me to actually use the floating action button. So as you can see here, the scaffold accepts a floating action button parameter, which we can go ahead and create for ourselves. We will leave the onClick empty for now and go ahead and customize the button just a little bit. So we want it to have a shape of a circle shape, a container color being white, and then a content color that will need to change based on if the user has the location permission or not. So we will need an if location permission, all permission granted, we will need a color. Otherwise, we will go ahead and create a gray button. Now, what we need is to create the map on the screen. I will go ahead and create the map properties and the map UI settings as done in the previous video before. After that, I will also initialize the Google Map function, which will accept both the properties, the UI settings, and the camera position state in order to move the camera state on top of London as we want. And here we go. As soon as we launch our application, the map will show London and a white empty button. So let's go ahead and create the content. What we want here is a simple icon which uses the locator icon that I downloaded before. With that done, we can see that the icon is displayed inside the floating action button. Now, what we want to do is, if we don't have all the permission already granted, we want to request them as soon as the user taps the button. So let's go ahead and check for the location permission, and if they're granted, we will need to place the position on the screen. Otherwise, we want to launch the permission request. And if we again launch the app, nothing has changed visually, but if we now tap on the button, it will ask the user for the permission to access the device location. If we grant the location, nothing happens. If we tap it again, nothing happens once again. So let's go ahead and implement a way to display the blue dot on the map once the user has granted the permission to the location. In order to query the device location, we need a fused location provider. We can gather one by just using the code as follows. Now that we have this, we can create a function that starts requesting the location to the device and listen to the updates. Now that we have a function, we need to check if we have the permission, and if we don't, we won't do anything. If we do have the permission though, we can request the location updates to the Fusion location client we just defined. The request location update accepts a request, a callback, and a looper. To create a request, you just need to use the builder method, providing an interval in millis. Let's set it 1000 milliseconds and call the build function. Now we need to define a location callback. The location callback is an interface that we need to implement. So let's go ahead and create one. Now the location callback has a function which is onLocationResult that gives us a location result. A location result has a list of location in it, which we want to iterate through and update the UI accordingly for every location that we receive. Now the last bit that we miss is a location source. As you can see, the GoogleMap function accepts a location source. So let's go ahead and provide a location source to the Google Map. And also let's create a location source. Now the location source is another interface similar to the location callback that we just created. The location source has an activate and a deactivate methods. Now we need to create a listener and set the listener to the one that we receive in the activate function. Once we have our listener, we want to be able from the outside to update the location on this listener. So to do so, we want to create a function on location that accepts a user location and send on location change to our listener. So now let's go ahead and call this on location method that we just exposed from when we receive a new location. So we want to call the my location source on location and provide the current location. Once we've done this, everything should work. The only thing that we now miss is that we need to call the function start listening to location as soon as the user taps on the button after requesting the user permission. So let's go ahead and call the method on the on-click of the floating action button if the user already provided all the location. So now let's go ahead and launch the app. The app is launched, and if we tap on the location, nothing happens. Why? Well, that's what the bonus point that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is. On the emulators, in order for you to get the location working, you actually need to open the Google Map app and also accept the location permission. Once you're done this, now let's go ahead and request the user permission to access the location. And once we granted it, tapping again on the button will display the blue dot and locate the user. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it or you learned something from it, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel for more content. Until the next time, see ya!